Greetings of the day. So I'm Saswati Pradhan, and today I'm going to present about demonetization, its intentions and inflictions with the perspective of economic lenses. So here we go. Okay. So the first important point is let's discuss what is demonetization and when have we seen it before. So the first point to note is demonetization means an act of stripping the legal tender status of currency units, and it happens whenever there is a change of any national currency. It involves the withdrawal of the current form or forms of money from being circulated, usually replaced with new notes or coins. So basically, everyone has a clear idea about demonetization. However, some things that we don't know or we rarely know are we have also faced demonetization before in 1978, and recently it's been on 2016 8 November. So both today and back then, as in 2016 and 1978, the intentions were really good. It has always been politically correct. The intentions have always been politically correct uh, for the greater good and the public. However, today we are going to see what were the intentions and what were the inflictions, whether they were all positive as intended or had there been any negatives and so on. So the first thing, we come to intentions, and the first intentions that we discuss is tackling black money. So we know that um, when demonetization came um, uh, was declared, the uh, denominations, the higher denomination notes were replaced by 2000 rupee notes. So the basic intention was, like the most prior intention was, black money is being circulated in higher denomination notes only. Hence, a demonetization might solve the issue of black money. It might change the whole perspective, because black money is only circulated in cash and in higher denomination, demonetization would definitely be the turnaround, and hence that was the first prior intention. The next one was reduces money circulation. So the moment you don't have, you take all the higher denomination amount of higher denomination currency from the public, there the sentiment of the public is very serious, and hence you as in the public would go for lower involvement into payments or transactions. Then there were boosting bank deposits and savings. So because the old currency was replaced with new currency, it isn't hard to imagine that bank deposits and savings were increased, as in everyone with their old notes was coming back in and depositing in their bank accounts. The next was financial inclusion. Financial inclusion is something which is very subtle. So basically, there is one half of India which relies on cash, which is the rural India, and hence when we are finally including them into the bank system and relying on bank more, this financial inclusion, it could have acted as a financially inclusive step. And the next important point was supporting government finances. So how would we do that? So basically, the moment everyone is trying to convert their black money to white money, we'll notice that there is higher income than before, and hence income tax would be higher, and hence this increased income tax that is collected could have been used to support government finances, to invest in sectors so as to convert unorganized sectors to organized sectors, and this would have solved a lot of problems. This is how the intentions or the cycle of intentions had flown. The next important thing was behavioral economics. So basically, a small change which is very much imbibed in everyone's life can lead to you actually reflecting in a different way. For example, now spending had changed. Digitization was a new concept that was introduced with this demonetization of 2016. Hence, the idea of cashless economy was supported, wherein everyone tried to go for Google Pay, Paytm, and all the online apps to pay, which was directly linked to your banks. Hence, this ensured that there is so this new practice was being imbibed in people's behavior, and hence it was very crucial to have good intentions. And as you can see, all the good points have been mentioned. Now, coming back to inflictions is more about the reality check, as in what actually happened, and is it even worth it? What how we intended, and are they actually happening that way? So the first very point is 99% to 99.3% in a year. So what is this? So once demonetization happened in 8th November. So we are discussing the recent most case, which everyone is very acquainted with. So 8th November was the date for demonetization. And what we realized is in about a few months, we had reached 99% of cash collection, which is great. And in about a year, it increased to only 99.3%. So there's 0.7% which have chosen not to deposit their cash. Now, what is the scary part here, right? So the scary part is before demonetization was declared or during the declaration of demonetization, what the controlling government expected or predicted was 70% of cash only would have been deposited, simply because the rest 30% would be black money. People would tend to throw away their black money and wouldn't uh, go for conversion or depositing it in their banks. But what actually happened is 99% of cash in a few months were deposited. This says that there were some loopholes in the demonetization policy, which were caught by everyone almost, and hence the exploitation of loopholes was very easy. This led to, so either this could be the case or there is no black money at all. So definitely second is not the option, which is why the exploitation of loopholes proves is the first major reason why demonetization wasn't a good idea. The next thing is fake currency. So after a few years, we tend to say that fake currency catch up, and hence regularly changing your currency can help you deal with the world of fake currency. So in about 2 months, there were situations where government detected fake currencies being circulated. It wasn't it wasn't just hearsay; it was actually detected and practiced and shared all around. So this says how quickly fake currency actually catch up, and is it even worth it then to change your currency? Because eventually things do change and fake currency do come into the picture. Next is terror funding. Terror funding was something which was very crucial point that was mentioned by the controlling government, and what they said is terror funding is something which is simply done in cash and in huge chunk of cash of higher denomination currencies, and hence changing the higher denomination currency or demonetizing it actually would solve the problem, or at least would slow down the whole process. However, what we noticed is after 8th November, in subsequent just 3 months, we had 22 all about minor and major terror attacks in Jammu Kashmir and whole of India. So this actually says that it wasn't that big an issue. And if we say that the payment for the 3 months that I'm studying would have been done prior to demonetization, then we can actually look at the stats of the whole year post demonetization, and the my point stays intact. That is, terror funding wasn't stopped or hindered in any which way. The next important point was tax collection. Yes. So normal increase in tax collection. So the issue is, though the controlling government intended and supported the idea that the tax collection would be increased, and they still do, the actual thing that or the actual picture is, firstly, uh, the tax collection had increased by 14%, which is very normal. If we track year on year increase, we can certainly say that a 14% increase is no big deal. And it has happened before, like, for example, in 2003, where there was no demonetization. Hence, this 14% being linked to demonetization is a way of proving yourself or trying to make a statement, which isn't the case. Second, BJP has been trying to, so everyone in BJP, which is the controlling government, has been trying to continuously tweet about how large amount of tax collection has been brought up this year and this in Modi government due to demonetization. And this is something that is normalization of oddity and brainwashing, wherein because everyone is following or everyone would be capturing activities of the government, the way they portray is 5 years change, as in 5 years back this was the tax collection amount and today this is the tax collection amount. If we compare 5 years back and now, definitely there would be an increase, but if you go for a year on year increase, you will realize the actual reality, which is very normal. A 14% increase is no big deal. The next important point is there had been lots of jobs lost. There has been 1.28 lakh crore jobs lost, lakh crore rupees, sorry, lakh crore jobs lost in first 50 days, which is a very huge amount, which is something we cannot afford given that India is already a populated country. So, and the number is significant enough to have affected us in the long term. The next important point is cost of printing new notes, which is about 21,000 crore rupees. Is it even worth it? Because until now we have literally negated all the intentions, all the positive intentions that were intended. So we clearly have negated all of them. So is this 21,000 crore being expended on change of currency good enough? That's a question, or at least everyone knows the answer, however, no one comments it or says it aloud. The next point is all in all, when talking about cash, it has been estimated by various newspapers, say Economist and Hindu, that all about 5 to 6 lakh crore amount is been um, lost on every phase of demonetization before, after, and before, after, and during. Other than that, the last part is deaths. This is something which is very unfortunate, very saddening, because um, there have been deaths in hospitals simply because the hospitals couldn't accept cash. There have been deaths in stampedes. So deaths is something which is irrecoverable, and hence is a huge chunk of loss that we can never get back. Um, so this actually concludes my points, and this actually negates all the intentions, which says that demonetization, though was intended as a positive reinforcement, did not come out the same. And the most important point is the demonetization policy. If demonetization was a decision which was taken very thoughtfully, demonetization policy should have been something which should have been considered very thoroughly. The possibility of exploitation should have been considered. The effects should have been considered. The public sentiment should have been considered. So it wasn't a one-off action, because we still, as deaths are included, we know that it's not one-off action. It is not about that one moment when everything gets changed, but it's not about 50 days of trouble. But there have been lives that have been caused. There have been large, huge chunk of money that has been lost. There have been people who are jobless right now. And the major important point is the intentions we had were all negative. So, what was the point of doing the whole demonetization thing? So, with that question, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you so much.